DJI finally did it.
Absolute game changer.
Absolutely insane. For the first time in history,
a 4nm AI-powered chip.
The footage is absolutely incredible.
Exceptional video quality.
It's got stunning resolution and next-level image quality.
It's an epic 4K action camera.
Best action camera ever made.
The best action camera in the world.
But is it really? When the Action 5 Pro launched, I watched a whole lot of the early reviews, many of which were sponsored, which means paid cash to promote the product and agree with the company on what could and could not be said. The hype coming from those videos was so intense, I felt like this camera was more significant, more important than the second coming of your preferred religious figure. I was led to believe that this was the best action camera ever made by a massive degree, and that it's so good it's going to put GoPro out of business. So naturally, being a very big, very small camera enthusiast, I could not wait to get my Action 5 Pro. It had Pro in the name, so obviously it was going to take my videos to the next level. Maybe this time next year I could finally be recognized by the film industry and be practicing my Academy Awards speech. And then I got the camera and reality set in. After doing some tests in and around my house for a couple of days, I was kind of underwhelmed enough that I decided not to make one of my usual higher effort reviews where I go to lots of different places and try to make cinematic shots and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's a great action camera, it really is. I love that it's small, much smaller than the Ace Pro, but not as small as the Action 2 of course. I love the large bright display on the back and the one on the front, and I love the extremely grippy textured coating. It's just nowhere near as impressive as I was led to believe it was. It's not even that much of an upgrade over the cameras I already have from last year. It looks nearly identical to the Action 4. It has the same sensor size, although it's a newer sensor. It has the same specs on the lens, and it actually has a lower bitrate than the Action 4, which was a surprise to me. So what makes this camera a total game changer? Honestly, I don't think it is. If I had to pick something, I'd say the low light performance. But is it that much better in low light than other action cameras? Well, it's come a long way since the old Action 2 days, that's for sure. It's quite a big improvement over that. But is it much better than the likes of the Ace Pro? Here's the Action 5 beside the Ace Pro, and both cameras are using their special low light modes. Now beside the Pocket 3. In the dark bathroom, the Pocket 3 pulls in a lot more light. Then out here, the Action 5 has a lot less noise, but it's very obviously because it's applying much more aggressive software noise reduction. So what about daytime indoors? DJI says it has revolutionary image quality. Does it though? Beside the Action 2, the Action 5 looks a bit sharper, but that looks suspiciously like software sharpening and noise reduction. Is the difference in detail that much better on the Action 5? Now beside the Ace Pro. And here I think the Action 5 actually falls behind the Ace Pro for detail. Now let's try outside, the Action 2 beside the Action 5. Is there much of a difference? What about beside the Ace Pro? Which looks better? What about dynamic range? Okay, much better than the Action 2, that's for sure. What about beside the Ace Pro? It looks like the Action 5 has better dynamic range, but does it really, or is it just lifting the shadows more aggressively at the cost of quality? What about slow motion? Here's the Ace Pro beside the Action 5 at 4K 120. What about vlogging in a challenging environment, the dreaded wooded location when the sun is low? The Ace Pro and Action 5 both do a great job, quite a bit better than the Action 2. But beside the Ace Pro, is the Action 5 actually better? Well, I think it lifts the shadows a bit more, which is kinda nice, but I think it has slightly less detail overall. So what makes this camera revolutionary? Honestly, I don't think it is. I don't want people to misunderstand me and think that I dislike the Action 5 Pro. I don't at all. It's a great action camera. I just feel compelled to make this video, to add a drop of realism and honesty into an ocean of extreme hype. I don't think this is the total game changer that the sponsored videos want you to think it is. The improvements in video quality over the competition are small, and in some cases it's actually worse. If you have the Action 2 or 3, yes, it's worth upgrading, at least for the improved low light and dynamic range. If you have the Action 4 or Ace Pro, you don't need the Action 5 Pro. If you have the Pocket 3, that is by far a better camera than any of the cameras I just mentioned, and the Action 5 Pro does not match its video quality. Think of the Action 5 Pro as the iPhone 16 of the action camera world. You know what I'm saying. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.